Hi folks, it's Sparta Indigo here. I'm still working on trying to make the perfect piezoelectric film to explain to everyone how piezoelectric is the bottom line part of nature that connects us into the quantum field, Higgs field, ether, whatever you prefer to call it. As I talked about before, as you can probably remember, I talked about before how we can have two crystals like this, and you tap on them. If you tap on them in a dark room, these crystals will give off light. And the important part to understand about that, about these crystals and the way they give off light like that, is that you could tap on these things forever and they would never fall apart. They would just, because energy is coming into them literally from the quantum field, Higgs field. As I said before, if they were batteries, if these crystals were batteries, they would run out of energy. But we have these types of little crystals like this in our microphones, in our telephones and whatever devices we use, computers, and these things go on forever. They never run out of energy. What I want to explain now is this here is a solar panel right here. It's a little piece of a solar collector, and this piezoelectric concept, idea, whatever, is so, the delicacy of setting off a piezoelectric charge on crystalline matter is, the matter is so delicate that when light hits the silicon crystal in these this is my solar collecting panel that I built, and the what do they call these things, the crystal heater has the silicon crystal wrapped around the electric cord, and that sets off literally pulls energy in from the universe into the crystal, so you wind up getting free energy through the crystal. That's what's happening there. Now on this, I keep showing this solar collecting panel because what I'm really trying to express here is how the delicacy at which these crystalline structures, these piezoelectric materials, when a physical force hits them, they give off electricity. It's so delicate, it's so sensitive that all that has to happen is light fall on them. That's all that has to be. The physical force of what scientists call a light photon just fall on them, and they start giving off electricity. And the electricity it's coming from the Higgs field, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. If that wasn't true, if it was coming from the bonding of the electrons bonding the molecules together, this stuff would fall apart. It would be like say you have a wood stove, and you start a fire in there, and that what you see there as a flame, that's electricity in its natural state. That's pure electricity is what that flame is. And it's coming from the bonding, though, of the material of the wood, and being as that coming from the bonding, it's breaking down the molecule of the wood with all with the electrical bonding breaking down and being given off as heat, electrical heat. But now as in a solar panel here, if that was true, if the electricity was coming from the bonding, then these, you know, slowly at some point these, you know, crystal structures would fall apart, but they're not. So it has to be getting energy from somewhere else, which is from the Higgs field, quantum field, ether, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's enough for now. So light just gently touches down on this silicon crystal and it causes a piezoelectric reaction. I want to try to use that to express to you, you know, the fact that our body is made of these piezoelectric silicon crystals too, obviously in a liquid form, so that when, you know, sound touches your ear or light touches your eyes or body or anything physical touches you, this is how the sense is traveling through your body, through the electrical connection of the piezoelectric connection of our cells. I have here a microphone. I pulled another one apart to try to show everyone exactly how these microphones work. Now what you've got here is this right here, this little thing right here is the actual crystal part, and right here is the metal. The metal vibrates, and then as you can see the crystal is just glued on the other side of it, and when that metal vibrates, it's enough vibration to send, you know, to cause electricity to you know, go down these wires. And so the electricity, you know, obviously it travels down these wires, you know, to another piezoelectric crystal receiver end. And so this piezoelectric is obviously not powerful, but it is subtle. Now I got here, you know, a 60 watt piezoelectric bulb. This is your LED bulb, and this is a replacement 60 watt LED. It gives off 60 watts of power in this bulb, and with only 9.5 watts needed. Okay. Okay, here's a good view of the Amazon books on piezoelectric. I'll see if I can get in nice and close and we can read that stuff. Yeah. Maybe you don't really need to be that close. Just give a quick idea, and you can go to Amazon, look at all the books on piezoelectric. Piezoelectric materials and devices, piezoelectric actuators, piezoelectric, what's that one? I can't even read it. Sensonics. Piezoelectric ceramics. Fundamentals of Fundamentals of Piezoelectric Sensorics. Oh, piezoelectric energy harvesting. No, that sounds interesting. I don't even know what that one's about. Piezoelectric ceramics again. Huh. Piezoelectric energy harvesting. Wow. I think I'm going to get that one. Alright, so that's it. Amazon books, piezoelectrics. Now what's most important about this is obviously, we have to find a way to use this for ourselves. And I always bring up examples of how Carl Jung used to talk about how in his research he found, like, when calculus first started, it came about by 3 mathematicians in separate places in Europe, in 3 different universities, and they never were in contact with each other. But yet they had studied, they had prepared themselves to receive these revelations, these understandings, these enlightenments, of calculus, of higher mathematics. They never were in contact with each other, but they all pretty much received it about the same time. So it's basically what it comes down to is that humans were ready to receive this kind of understanding. The humans that prepared themselves for it, because obviously you can't receive this kind of understanding if you haven't prepared yourself to receive it. And Nikola Tesla, all his inventions, came through revelations. I know you can read books on that, how he had the insights, he was given the revelations of seeing the machines working and stuff like this, exactly how the build up and breakdown of the circuitry would work. So what I'm getting at is that's how humanity evolves. There are a lot of people that are saying, what's wrong? How come we're not evolving? They don't get it, But we are evolving. We're evolving, I don't know, if you're not evolving, you got to ask yourself, why not? You should be evolving. There are an awful lot of people on the planet that are evolving. And a lot of this not evolving stuff is because so many people are stuck in these one God religions. And these one God religions teach people that all revelation stopped at a certain point in time. Like Christianity teaches that after Jesus left the planet, there was no more revelations. It's like you can't know anything anymore. So this leaves people dependent on the Bible, and it leaves them dependent on how the religions interpret the Bible. And of course any establishment is gonna interpret any book or any kind of knowledge in such a way as to keep themselves in control. That's what they exist for. They exist for their own power. They exist for their own control. And I want to get into a little bit on the 9/11 attack and on the Twin Towers there in New York City, and what that was all about. It's basically what it's all about is that these government scientists, they've understood the bonding nature of materials so well, that they can set up a resonant frequency from, I don't know where, they either set it up right in the buildings right around there, or they could probably do it right from outer space. They can set up a resonant frequency that's going to break down the bonding of that iron, and they can literally dustify it. They can get those molecules shaken so well, so fast, that it literally breaks the bonding. And the evidence of this is the fact that when they found some of those iron I-beams still like burning, down below in ground level down there, and the fire department was down there, and they kept spraying hoses on it, and they couldn't make the burning I-beams go out. Water wouldn't even put it out. It's because it becomes a chain reaction. Once you get these kind of resonant frequencies going like this, they become a chain reaction. They'll, just like a nuclear power plant is a chain reaction, and they have to put the rods in there to slow down the reaction if the reaction gets going too much. They have that all worked out there. And speaking of the resonant frequencies and the bondings and stuff like this, this really would be the cure for all these nuclear power plants that, like Fukushima, that are melting down from whatever causes it. They could actually apply the same technology, resonant frequency technology, to break down the bonding of the metal, of the uranium. If they can do it with iron, they could certainly figure out the frequency for uranium, and they could dustify the uranium in there too, and there would actually be no uranium radiation. You could do away with depleted uranium. It really would be the cure for all these nuclear problems that we're having. But, of course they're not going to tell you that. So what's most important in all this is that we learn how to use this piezoelectrics of our body for ourselves, to grow in our own understanding, our own self-understanding, to know yourself. Because you're not going to get this to work, if you're lying to yourself about things. You really have to honestly know what you want, what you really desire to want, and there may be something else you really want more than that new jewelry or whatever it is. Hopefully there is something else you want besides that. And we really need to understand the piezoelectrics and how these crystals hold memory. We need to understand that when we get a trauma in our bodies, the crystalline nature of our bodies, that trauma stays in there too. And how we have to use the light of consciousness to clean the trauma out. Really, all you have to do is look at something. All you have to do is sit there and look at the trauma. You just look at it and look at it and keep looking at it. And if your mind wanders off, you just bring it back and keep looking at it and looking at it. There are a lot of people that think your mind is never supposed to wander off, but I think it's actually a help. When your mind wanders off, you learn to break the thought streams. You actually evolve better, farther, faster. I explain all this better, in my book here. You can get this book free online. I sell it to people when I meet them personally, Me personally, I like to have a book like this. I use it as like a piece of art. I have, plenty of books on my shelf that are really informative and really beautiful pieces of art. So this to me is art plus, high levels of consciousness information. So I sell that if I run into people in person, but I don't sell it online or anything like that. You can get the book for free online. So what you've got to do is just keep cleaning your traumas out and raising your consciousness. You raise your consciousness by growing in your understanding of how life works, how this part of us that we think is a physical material, which really isn't physical, but It feels that way, but how it connects into the, ether realm, you need to clean your traumas out, even after a day's work. It doesn't feel like the stress of a day is a trauma, but it is. It has to be cleaned out all the time. And as you do it, the more you do it, you'll actually start to get sensitive enough to feel the sensation of, it becomes like a physical feeling to you. You can feel the sensation of the trauma when it comes out of your body. And when this happens, then you start growing in your insights and understanding, and consciousness of, actually how the archetypal world works. How this is an archetypal universe, how there is this connection between the physical world and the world of matter. For more understanding and everything that I talk about all the time, I'd really like to recommend this guy. His name is Joe DePenza. He works on this all the time. I've never found anybody that understands it better than him. I understand it. And the miracles I've had with it in my own personal life are at least equal to what he's gone through and conquered in his life. But, well, he's just one I recommend because he's turned it into a full-time business. I don't have it as a full-time business. It's a hobby for me. And when one turns it into a full-time business, they're forced themselves, to bring more of the energy of the understanding, of what he's trying to help people with. Other people literally force him to pull it through his own body, the understanding through his own body. He keeps growing in his revelations and in his understanding about how it all works and how to express it to other people. So here's a better view of Dr. Joe DePenza's website. See if I can get up close and get what he's saying right up here on the top of it. Dr. Joe DePenza, an infinite number of possible realities await the observer. To me, that's a guy that really understands physics. So this really is how we can build a society with no establishments. Once you understand that you can cure your own diseases, there goes the medical establishment. Once you understand you have insights to avoid, accidents, there goes the insurance establishment. And once you understand that we are the gods, there goes the religious establishment. When these establishments are gone, the people will keep growing in their insights, and they'll do away with political establishments. I'm seeing large corporations could break down, collapse under people building their own small businesses. Well, people will build their own small businesses, and they'll just learn to accept that, there is no one God, that we are the gods, We are that which, created everything in the beginning. It is us. Who knows? It got bored and must have got bored and divided itself up, to have some kind of stimulation, some kind of interaction. So just accept it. We are the gods, and there's nothing else that's going to do it for you. You have to take personal responsibility for yourself. There is no one God that's going to come down from heaven all of a sudden and just, change things, start turning things around a different way. It's got to be us. So, keep cleaning your traumas out. Keep growing in the light of understanding. Keep growing in your understanding that we're the gods, and I'll catch you later. Bye.